Hey guys, and welcome to That Filthy Show. Season 3, Episode 13. This is our season finale because I'm taking the summer off to party. Well, today's Aboriginal Day, so please take a moment, reflect on the challenges our Aboriginal community has faced over centuries, and take a moment and learn about Native culture and Native history. And take a moment of silence for the kids. And we should heal and move on together as a country. All right. With that being said, it is June 21st. It is Aboriginal Day. I was going to have some Aboriginal comedians and talent, but apparently with it being Aboriginal Day, they're all booked up, which means good for you guys. You're getting paid gigs. Go for it. And to everyone else, let's get this inappropriate show started. Today on the show, I have two DJs and producers from the good old rave days who are still going strong today. First up, we have Marty McFly. Hey, Marty, what's up?
Oh, hey.
Hey, what's going?
Fancy seeing you guys here.
All right, so Marty, for those who don't know you, which basically means no one who was born after the 90s, in Toronto, what's your story? Well, how'd you get into DJing? What do you like? How'd you start?
Well, the short answer is this: I'm a raver at heart. I love to dance. In the early, I was 21, so like early 90s. You know, you go to your party, you have some fun while you're there, and after like a year or so, I got invited to an after party, and at the after party there were turntables. I was feeling good. Someone said, "Hey, you can try those." 8, 9 in the morning, whatever. I'm at someone's house, after party, and they said I could play on the turntable. So this was something I kind of grew up with. Being a fan of hip hop like De La Soul and just Tribe Called Quest, anything funky, sampley was my jam, and that's kind of how I got my start. I bought a turntable, just one. I bought some tracks, and I just started buying breakbeats and kind of sticking to that genre. And fast forward to moving to Toronto a little while later. I had a couple of years of partying in Vancouver. I have no idea what I did, but I know I had a good time. I'm clearly here, so I did something right. And after time, I moved back to Toronto, and I had an opportunity to kind of have a mulligan or a do-over because, I had this fun party atmosphere that I was involved in, but now I wanted to take things not necessarily more seriously, but I just wanted to kind of have a second chance. So here I am. I had a second chance. I made a tape. It wasn't my first week. It had been 5 years of DJing, handed stuff out, and it just snowballed after that. And, I'm still a party kid at heart. Like I pretty much DJ to get on the guest list now. No, that's not true. But if I'm not really playing, I'm not really going out anymore because it's just that much fun for me. Mm-hmm. So, that's really how I got my start. I touched a pair of turntables while I was at an after party and never looked back.
That is an awesome story. That's a great way to start. All right, let's bring Shine in. And hey, Shine, how we doing?
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Well, Shine, I've known you for years. And how did you start? Because you're like DJing, producing music now. Doing some big moves. So how did it all start?
I was a nerd.
Okay.
I was such a nerd. I used to listen to CFNY and they had this really cool radio show. I forgot the name. Kim something. She put it was like in the evenings, and it was sort of like it would set you up for the week or weekend ahead. And I heard about this rave that was happening. I was on my way to the Cure concert, actually, at Skydome, and listening to this radio interview about a dude named Alex of London, who was from a production company called Chemistry. And I listened to this guy and being interviewed on the radio about these crazy raves that were happening, and there was one coming up they were throwing. And I jotted the number down of the info line, and I called it, and I'm like, "Hey, I like this stuff, and I want to like maybe help out with the sound and the lighting or anything, and volunteer, right? Because I had done that with like, the play companies and different, community theater, and so like I knew the gig. You get in and find your way in there. Happy Father's Day. That's my kid in the background there.
Cool.
And so I just sort of got into it that way. And then going to these parties was weird because I was also 15 years old, right? So like, my mom was a teacher. She was not cool with me going to like drug rave parties and shit. So the caveat was I could only go to these parties till about midnight. But I would go there from noon till midnight and help people set up and learn the whole lighting and sound stuff. And eventually that turned into, my parents sort of being cool with more and more adventures because they started seeing, all right, this is whatever. And but then in the background, I would sneak out my window in the evening after I was getting home, and my friends would like meet me at 1:30 in the morning and take me back downtown. I was in Mississauga, like I was crazy commuting back and forth just to go to these parties. Eventually, I met a bunch of people who got me more into DJing. One dude named Jeff Milligan, DJ Algorithm, and he let me sort of crash at his house all the time. I think I used up my sleeping on anyone's couch points for the rest of my life, all on this one dude. Like, because, and everyone did. It was like this weird cult of Milligan. We all hung out and learned how to DJ, and then I got into all this other crazy stuff, making music, sort of went along with it, but I was really making bad music, but I looked cool making bad music and DJing and kind of got away with it. But yeah.
Okay. My start into the rave scene was me and my friends would go to after hours, like warehouse parties at 23 Hop, where then turned into the Joker, then turned in, and now is disappeared. This is like, I'm old. I'm like 88, 89. So by like 92, we went to one warehouse party that was actually just a rave. And my friends were like, not into it. But I'm like, you know what? I'm staying. And that was it. I'm staying, fucking started going out to them, started, going to the bar. And then afterwards, hit the shuttle bus at Union Square and boom, or Union train station and, hit there. So we barely remember our rave days. But do you guys remember, like, what's the weirdest experience you ever had at a rave party? Like, I know this is going to be weird, but go for it.
I got a good one.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look like you got a good one.
I got like 20 good ones. Okay, so at
checking for the kid first.
It's got to be like timed. Okay, so he's in the wash, like he's forever pooping all the time, so whatever. It was an after party, and there was we were out at 318 Richmond Street, and it was something like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, right? And went outside, and there was a kid who had let's say this is a fire hydrant, okay. Mm-hmm. And this kid had decided to sort of just perch himself on top of the fire hydrant. So if you can figure this out, he had removed, clothes and stuff, and then decided to sit on top of the fire hydrant. Ooh. And this is like 2:30 in the afternoon, and there's a lot of fire hydrant self help going on in the middle of Richmond Street. And I walked outside, and I was like, and his friend was next to him, and he was like, "Oh no, it's cool. He's on lithium, bro." And this old lady walked by, and it was like the dude was sitting there. I swear to God, I cannot. This is the proper show for this, but like, yeah, this is about the weirdest thing I ever saw. And I went back into the party, and I was like, okay, I don't want to. Yeah, it was the fire hydrant thing that I don't think fire hydrants should be used in that
I am
way.
never gonna look at I'm never gonna look at one again in the same light.
I know.
It's a square little peg, bro.
I know. I'm just
that is not a little peg. It is a big peg. Okay, that's a good time, and that's a very big peg.
All the power to
to be fair, though, like, maybe they have different ones in Toronto than they do, say, in Mississauga.
It's also, it was a pretty far away from the rave scene kind of thing, so I'd say satellite issue, right? I was going to bring up the other story was watching the tent fly away at Destiny 10 and when the hurricane hit, but that's a different conversation. But what do you got, Marty? Yeah,
I got shit compared to that, man. No. Okay, let me think. I got Science Center rave. I think it was. I know it was thrown by Citrus at the time. Ontario Science Center had three, maybe 4 parties. 3, I think. Anyways, the first one that I went to, all the exhibits were open. If I'm not, this is the one I'm remembering. And if you recall, they had those little movie theaters where you sit in. There's a bench. There's maybe no more room for 10 people. And I stick my head in this room and I'm looking, and it's like the sperm and the egg. And so now here's a bunch of people high on ecstasy, and the sperm's coming along, and it's like the freaking horse races. Because I'm there going, come on, buddy, you can do this. And I'm getting excited. I'm like, yeah, let's go. You can do it. And everyone's like kind of caught up in the moment going, yeah, maybe he will do it. Like there's a possibility this could fail, but no, we're cheering. There's like 10 people, we're all sitting, go, go, in this little chair or whatever. I'll never forget that. I mean, it's kind of tacky, but and we cheered. And then when the thing, was the egg and cells started to divide, we were like very happy, It was like a connection between everyone that we had that moment. that one was one of my favorites. If I tried to think of something dirty, I could remember sitting at an after party, and I was just telling this to my wife just the other day for some odd reason. But someone walked out of the bathroom a little bit high on something and said, "I found a pill in my pocket. How should I do it?" And the entire room of, say, 7 or 8 people in Buffalo, New York, or something like that, all shouted out, "Hoop it." And I was like, you can do that? Like, that's a thing? It's like, hoop it. All right. Well, the guy left it. That's...
Oh, wait, give me a sec.
So, yeah, anyways, you can imagine what happened. And he was high as fuck shortly afterwards. So
that's a whole other thing, right? Like, that's...
Yeah. Gets right in there.
Not a good idea. Wow. I think of not good ideas. Oh man, what else? I remember I was at a rave once, and I was more like, what was going on was the weirdest thing. It was this DJ. Remember DJ Nobody, Dave Bodra?
Yes.
So DJ Nobody was at the party, and he had with him kind of like a scarecrow on a stick. And it was like another 7 feet higher, right? So it was this crazy, like, floating scarecrow on a stick. And he's in the middle of the crowd, and he's got the scarecrow on the stick. And I was far away, and I was the only one who knew it was Dave, right? Because, like, I'm like, that's insane. But I know, I saw Dave had the stick. And then I was far enough away, and the lighting, the way it all just was hitting, because, like, you see a heads, and then this crazy, like, gothic kind of scarecrow on a stick around there. And I was just like, that's wrong, man. Like, that was just too much weird. I mean, but, like, yeah, people are losing their minds watching that thing float around too.
Sorry for that, guys. My cat decided he's going to unplug my camera.
That's how they do it, right?
That's how they get you.
Yes.
Is your camera sitting on the edge of the table, and he just went, yeah. No,
it's on a tripod, and he's like, he just pushed it over. Okay, so sorry about that. So yeah, that's my most interesting, weirdest story was more of a, I look back and go, I was an idiot, which is always a good way to start a story. Okay, so I'm waiting for Eric S. Outside of like Destiny New Year's 2000, the gong show of a New Year's party. And I'm waiting with Eric with his crate while he deals with some stuff. Let's just say very, very, very attractive young lady comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she's high as a kite. And so was I. And then she's like, yeah, so you want to come back to my place and watch the sunrise and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, no, I got to wait for my friend. And then she walks away. And then Eric's driving me home. He's like, hey, what was up with the hot girl? And I was like, oh, she wanted me to go home and watch the, oh, man. You know, like it didn't click in until like on the way home that like, oh, man, she was hitting on me. Yeah, I know.
Eric story.
Okay, what's up?
So I used to drive the shuttle bus at Destiny Fridays from the Union Station to whatever, like Commissioner Street, where it was at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my license. I was still like 15 or 16, I think, maybe at the time, right? I was just like, yeah, my first rate, yeah. Because, yeah, that was like 93 or into 94. One of those years. But I was driving around without a driver's license in the middle of the wintertime. And I was also, if you think about, like, if you took a little piece of paper and you kind of had, you know, the concept of what that would represent to most people.
Oh, yeah.
I would help people. I would help them find that while I was driving them on the shuttle bus, right? So already that was a bad idea. But I didn't have a driver's license, and in between runs, once in a while, we would go for drives behind and around Cherry Beach and stuff. And I think I took a corner a little too harsh, and I almost wiped out and dunked his van into the lake over this really rickety, weird bridge that's not there anymore. I've been trying to find it since, but I remember where this was. It was sort of like near the Hearn, but behind a little more south. But we took this edge, and I almost dunked this, and I just got back in. There was like 3 or 4 people. We stopped, and like we were on the edge. It was one of those moments, and I'm sure everything about it in my mind was like this cliff that was, you know, probably just like 2 feet of water. But we almost dunked his van, and I don't think I ever told him that to this day. But yeah, went along with it.
Okay, so what's your guys' weirdest shuttle bus story? Besides that one. Jay, you got that one. Marty, do you got a weird shuttle bus?
No, I don't. Well, you know what I do, because most of the time I drove. I either was living with, like I was living with my parents in the late 90s, so there was a car that was there, and I could go wherever I needed to. I was near like Yonge and Steeles or Finch Station area at the time, and I remember one time deciding that I wanted the shuttle bus experience. Like I wanted to go to Nathan Phillips Square. I wanted to go somewhere, you know, go be picked up and be dropped off somewhere. And yeah, the only time I really did it was for a Destiny 3-day. And I think the pickup wasn't Nathan Phillips Square. It was specifically at Yorkdale. And I went, and I already kind of been DJing for a little bit and had some recognition at that time. And so, you know, riding the shuttle bus with one of your favorite DJs was a pretty fun thing to do for those who were there and for those books I signed. And I can't remember if we took pictures back then, but yeah, that was a good time. Now, did I take the shuttle bus back? No, I hitched a ride, and you know what, and I could come and go as I please. But that's probably the only time I really remember taking the shuttle bus. It was other than hanging out, say at Nathan Phillips Square to get your map to find out where you might be going, because you know, I had to have my father's car back before 7 a.m. when he had to go to work or something like that.
Yeah. My shuttle bus story is coming back from Went. Do you guys remember the one when there was all that police presence?
Yeah. Yeah, that was Bob Cajun with the helicopters and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or Tweed. Was it Tweed? I
think it was Tweed. It was Tweed because, I was making fun of the fact that it was Tweed. And I remember coming back from that rave, and I took the shuttle bus because I wanted to stay, because all my friends sobered up and decided they want to go home, and I didn't. And I remember taking the shuttle bus, and I made a comedy bit about it, like a comedy story, where I'm on the shuttle bus, and these 2 kids in the back's heads keep popping up and down, right? Fucking chaos. Give me a sec.
We lost him.
I'm allergic to cats, so my wife hates that because she would love to have a cat. So now that we're in COVID world, I've got an afro almost again. So it's almost like a cat.
Let's see. Come on, throw it.
Oh yeah.
Throw. Yeah.
Well, fro, we're talking COVID hair. It's only like 6-7 weeks long, but I mean, it's usually much shorter than yours and faded in the back. Here we get in.
All right. Oh shit.
That's a good time.
I see you're really leaning into the dad life.
Oh yeah.
Your posts with DJ in child.
Oh yeah. You know, I even I have a little DJ controller, and I was trying it out, and you know, I got to hold the kid. You can't just leave him in the grass to eat those clovers that he loves to, you know, like his father, you know, eating grass. And so
kids need to do that.
They apparently, just to figure out that they're gonna have pretty funny shits afterwards, or who knows what happens.
All green and yellow for like the next few years.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, I don't know. I forget what we're talking about. So
well, we were midway through like a shuttle bus issue. I have a good shuttle bus story, and it's kind of related to the shuttle bus. But we were throwing a party with Josh Wink, my friend Nav. He was part of chemistry, and he went and did his own thing. And it was like the first time that Wink was brought to Toronto, right after kind of like Don't Laugh came out. So it was just on the cusp of
how awesome. Yeah.
And they brought me with. I still didn't have my license. They brought me with them to the airport to go pick him up. And he got detained because at the time Josh Wink was making Acid House, and you know, they were convinced that Josh Wink, a person coming aboard, is transmitting acid music. And it's like, no, it's dude, shut up. So, but they ended up leaving me in Terminal 1, the old Terminal 1, with this van. And you know, I'm umpteen years old, and I have no driver's license, and they got the key, and I'm sitting there with this thing parked in a no parking spot in the like departures or live arrival section. I don't know what it was, but our CMP guy comes up to me. He's like, you gotta move your van. And I'm like, we're just waiting here for the thing and whatnot, but they're move it now, we're gonna tow it. Like so like take off with the van, load it with the sound system, lights, laser, you know what I mean? And I start ripping down, and I'm driving through you know, a very complicated first time driving, literally. This is before any of the other stuff happened, before any of the shuttle bus stuff. But I'm driving through the airport, and I get into a situation where, like, trying to get back to the entrance, because I'm like, and it's really weird.
Yeah, it's a circle.
And I get stuck in a situation where there's a van in front of me and a bus that's about to turn. And the bus doesn't have enough clearance, so the van in front of me has to back up a little. And I backed up a little, but I'm in like a giant extended van. I couldn't see the back, so I only backed up a little. And the guy couldn't back up in front of me a little, and then he got clipped by this like giant like bus, and it just ate the front of this guy's Civic. Man, it was like this little car front, and I was just like, I made that happen because I didn't back up enough because the guy didn't back up. Right, so get out of that situation. I'm like, God, I don't have a driver's license. I'm gonna be stuck in this freaking accident reporting thing. Right, and then I get back into the tunnel, going back into Terminal 1, and I look in the mirror, and there's Nav, and he's been running. He has been chasing me through the whole damn area, because literally not 10 seconds after I pulled away, this guy came out and saw me pull away. So if I waited 10 more seconds, I wouldn't have had to do that. But anyways, you pull Josh Wink aside, you say, hey, airport, first time you came here, someone lost the van. Like every time I saw Wink after that, it was like this weird thing. It was like he knew. Like I saw him in like the States a couple times. He'd be like, "Hey, you!" Yeah, that was a whole mission.
All right, so yeah, I'm back, Cat again. Okay, we got a question here.
Oh,
what is your most memorable wimp? What's your guys' like favorite wimp?
Ooh.
I'd say the Island.
Yeah, Island was pretty good. Island would probably be a top one for sure, because I mean, we had never partied on a beach before in Toronto that I know of. Like, not even. I mean, Cherry Beach is one thing, but this is like a full-on adventure.
Right. Yeah, that's the Christian Island one, not the one at
Christian.
Yeah, not the Sable or Wasaga.
No. Yeah. Hey, there's the menace right there.
This is the menace.
What was performance.
God, I got to go with John E. I Am Ready in the middle of like the build-up that just kept skipping over and over again as the like that was this God, man, it was the first Wimp, and I think between that performance and 8 or 9 hours later when the sun came up and they got this shitty little sound system back up and running when the first track played, it was like, okay, yeah, like that was, I forgot who it was. It was Chris something or some dude from the UK who was playing. I forgot his name, but oh my God, yeah, that was too much. That was way too much because, like, just, you know, for those who don't know, we had a rave that got hit by a hurricane, and someone tied the tent to this wall of speakers, kind of thing, and then the tent turned into a sail. Now I've been touring in bands for the last 20 years now. And I've seen some shit, man, and I've seen some stages blow fuck away. But, you know, this was the craziest thing I've ever seen. This was literally like dropping a bomb on a bunch of kids who were on drugs. Like, you see, like when you drop a bomb on a bunch of people, they get this like kind of what happened as a bomb dropped, right? But then you're still on like lots of weird drugs, and that happened. And man, just watching, I remember I was running for the hills trying to find my friend Jen Zabawa's van, and people were trying to leave and drive it away, and my foot got stuck in a gopher hole. There's a car coming, and I was like it was the most psycho like moment, like, you know. But yeah, that was funny.
I can't even think who I would like. I was trying to think of like an act or something from Wemp that I really appreciated, but I just think those events, the whole experience is my favorite part, I guess. Like, yes. I don't always want to say it's one DJ or one person, and if I do, I'm going to say, well, it's I had a great set or I had a shitty set. I don't know. You kind of like figure it out. But definitely, yeah, Christian Island, favorite space. What was the one? They had another one, I think it was near Muskoka, that had a Ferris wheel. And I thought that was cool. Like that, I don't think they had that one. And even at the time was, if you remember the E Network, they had a FM pirate radio station. And if you can picture this, I'm going to say this is, and maybe I'm wrong on the timeline, but there was maybe no internet back then. And so the fact that there was an FM transmitter and people with radios in cars, and you could listen to music at your tent, you know, of someone actually DJing, like that was a cute band. I always thought that was pretty memorable. But yeah, and Rabbit on the Moon is pretty awesome. Anyways, I just had to squeeze that in there.
I don't know if this was an urban legend or not, but was it DJ Echo or Echo? One of the guys, his thing was like jumping on the turntable, smacking records against his head. He was like a hardcore progressive trance DJ.
I only know Marky G that would do that.
Okay.
That was him.
Oh yeah,
that was him.
That guy played. I picked him up from the airport and brought him to one of the Wimp, the one they had at the airport in like near Hamilton. There was a.
Yeah, I missed that one, but I know that one. Duns for you?
Something like that, yeah. It was always funny going into those because I worked all the Destiny raves. So, you know, working it or DJing or somehow being connected on the in was the only way to roll with that. And it was like that famous line from Blade Runner, like, if you're not cop, you're little people, right? Like, you know, it had this kind of feeling like, you know, a little bit of, you know. And it was weird because it goes back to the whole being a nerd in school, because I was like super nerdy in high school, but then like the same super cool kids who like would go to raves would be, how the hell did this guy get in already? Like, yeah, whatever, guys. I'm going home.
Yeah.
When my VIP pass there, I don't get it anymore. Mom's waiting for me to pick me up. Where's he going? Wow. Way to ditch out on your own show.
That's all right. I want to give a shout out to Aaron, who had 2 questions. He's on my Facebook, so enough respect to you and anyone else on my who's on there. Oh, I got a fly in the house. Go figure.
So have you been producing? I see you've been doing some stuff with the
Melting Man. Yeah.
How's that
Yeah,
going?
it was good. So like I decided to first of all, I've never learned how to make music. Can I beatbox to describe what I want? Absolutely. And thankfully Melting Man can decipher my saliva and beats that yeah, I could sit down with him and we'll pick like 10, 20 sounds, and with his help, we arrange them in the way that seems best. And so yeah, so I started that like I would say 2016. Just kind of decided to do it. And so for 2 or 3 hardcore years, we were making tracks, putting them out on his label. Other labels were taking them as well. And I was like, this is really cool. I mean, I'm not paying the bills with it, but you know, it was part of the experience having DJ'd for, you know, since 91 or 92. I'm like, finally, you know, this is going to be my
play your own music.
What's
You
that?
ever play your own music.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Okay.
I even sing on all my own music. Like all the vocals are myself, and because I enjoy that. It was part of the creative process of okay, maybe I've started this a little bit too late in life, but if I'm going to do it now, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And so a couple times, like I took a song like "Mirror in the Bathroom" by the sings "Mirror in the Bathroom." Mirror in the bathroom.
The Specials.
No.
Oh no.
Take it to
English Pete.
Thank you. I should know this. But you know, instead of "Mirror in the Bathroom," I called it "Breakers in the Bathroom." You know, and I changed the words in a Weird Al kind of way, but then we still kind of made electronic-y. And yeah, I don't play them all the time. I kind of play them when I have, like, if I have say 10 songs, I have 3 or 4 that are my absolute favorites. And if the crowd is into it and they want to hear something, I can tell that anything I play they will dance to, then I'm going to drop my own and see if I can't get them on that same kind of groove. And if they're still dancing to it, well, I'm going to drop another one. And then every once in a while, it's like I can like MC air bands because it's my voice is in the track. So yeah, that's definitely a new thing. And I haven't done that recently with him. It's just been time and now with COVID, well, it's everything's changed. So kind of taking a break from that, if you can pardon the pun, and you know, maybe one day him and I will get back together again. But yeah, it's been super fun doing that with him.
Funky. You guys are in the same hood, kind of, right?
He's in London. He was in Brantford at the time, and I was in Georgetown. So I would drive an hour and a half and go hang out with him for an afternoon. And then I'm in Guelph.
Guelph, oh yeah.
Yeah. And now he's in London. So if you know, most of the time we can send things back and forth over the internet, which is handy, but it's just not the same as actually sitting in a room. He's got cats, you know, like I know the cat's name, it's Lacey, you know, like we hang a studio cat, we hang, you know, and we make some tracks together. So but yeah, now that I'm talking about it, like, fuck, I should call that guy. Like, it's been a while. Like, you know, things are there. But no, I just haven't really I took a bit of a break from it, and I'll get back to it again. It's definitely fun to do. You must still be making tracks. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
can I go ahead?
I'm thinking like once COVID kind of like this summer and from here on in, hopefully, thank God, knock on wood, we can get life back to normal. People are going to be like, fuck, I'm going to go. Like I posted as a joke on a rave group. Like I raved in 92 to 2003, that Facebook group. I posted like, when this is done, we're all having a rave, right? We're all getting together, having a party. And it was like just a lot of people like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck. So it's like middle-aged guys, middle-aged people out in the field, partying until about 11, because that's when we have the babysitter till, and just like, you know, cutting our cutting our baby laxative with cocaine just to give it a little buzz, our Metamucil with a little cocaine. So we just, you know, like we're having fun.
Right.
And, you know, because this shit, I'm stir crazy. I'm losing it. Like, yeah, I can't wait for life to get back to normal, or at least something that resembles normal. What about you guys on that? Like, do you think when you're done, you're going to get back into making music and get into, I don't know, doing weird stuff? I can't wait to get back on stage as a comic and stuff, right? Like, I just can't wait to like have an audience again.
I definitely look forward to the audience aspect. You know, going out and meeting people at the bar and, or you know, just how do I describe it? Just that human interaction of playing a track. Maybe somebody hasn't heard it before, and getting that person to dance and boogie, and hopefully that they, you know, the dance floor builds up and you do your thing. If that happens again, that'd be great. I would be all over it. But I'm not expecting it. Like, I almost feel like, I mean, I'm wearing this dad shirt, but I mean, I turned 50 a couple of years ago. So like, and my girl and I decided to have a baby. So like, you know, for the next 20 years, essentially, I'm going to be raising a son. And so I think to myself, you know, am I going to still make time for music? And in some regards, I am, because even though I didn't, once the child was born, I took a break. I didn't DJ. I didn't even, you know, turn anything on, because I had this new experience and I had to figure it all out. But, you know, after about 3 or 4 months, I was like, okay, you know, I've got a bit of a handle on life again. How can I integrate this? And I started, you know, especially with COVID, you can at least DJ online. So I kind of got into that. I embraced that. I had some help from some people here in Toronto. Farbsy Funk gave me a hand, just kind of like, you know, getting started and things like that, and how to work OBS and all the different things that go with broadcasting online. And the point I'm trying to make is I DJ in between naps. So like, my little homeboy goes to bed. He's like up at 4 or 5, and he goes to bed at 7. So what am I doing? I'm DJing 6 to 7. And if like right now he's asleep, we're talking. It's totally safe. Like, yeah, I know my voice carries a little bit, but you know, it's not like a poof, poof, poof. Yeah. I'd be. You know, never say never. I love DJing. I really only go anywhere when someone takes the time to email me or call me and say, hey, I have this event. I want you to come play. I think you'd be perfect for it. You know, even this conversation that we're having today, it's the same thing. You reached out to me. I'm like, yeah, I haven't even seen, like, my first memory of Shine, now that I think about it, is like 1996 in a radio station at York University, CHRY. Jay Thomas, that's right. Yeah. And he had a thing on Friday night, and that was kind of my first memory of you, and hanging out with another friend of mine, JP DJ or JP John Paul, and his girlfriend was Simone at the time. So I mean, this is 96, 97. But that's my first memory of you, by the way. Just now that it popped in my head, I was like,
I loaded it in there. It's in there. I know that day. I remember that day. I was like, hey, Jay, can I grab that other turntable from the other studio and hook up the third one? Yeah. And he was like, yeah. And yeah. Oh man.
I hope there's a future, like in the sense that if my phone is ringing and my email's ringing and there's an opportunity to go, I'm going to go. But right now, I'm really enjoying the fact that I can come downstairs. I have an online audience that's all over the world, really. And not that I like that, because I don't need that kind of gratification, but I really find it's different that I have a different audience who is not dancing in front of me. They're just sitting, listening to music and not dancing, but chatting and conversing in a chat room, which is just different than being on the dance floor with a smoke and a beer in your hand going, yeah. This is awesome, you know, like, fuck.
Well, because I was playing one of your the live streams the other day while I was cleaning the house. So I was like dancing around the house cleaning. And I've noticed with a lot of the live stream DJ shows, the backgrounds. Like you got a set of records, which is kind of like normal DJ. But then there's like, I've seen people playing in front of mountains. And like people playing on a boat. Like I saw some Russian from Russia with bass, I think the girl's name is. And it's like this girl who's playing on a yacht and just like 5 people dancing around her.
But into
it's
it.
Like beautiful scenery. And I'm just like, this is just weird, you know, because back in the day when you show DJs playing, they'd be in front of this huge audience, like a sea of people. And now it's more about the backdrop.
Yep.
You know, like
I've been building virtual reality games for the last 5-6 years as primarily a way to learn how to make interactive visuals that are in sequence with the music I'm making live. And this all kind of springs from like I did a gig for this dude, Childish Gambino, and it was like the beginning of his big sort of rise with music, probably like 2015. He'd been out and doing stuff, but it was like this was when the big album dropped, right? And we did like an interactive 5,000 person dome in the desert in Palm Springs, and it was nuts. It was like just imagine like a big blown up dome, right? And on the inside of it, there's 7 video projectors stitched a big bubble. So it was a VR world.
Oh, cool.
On a so right,
yeah.
for 5,000 people instead of everyone having no goggles on, right? So you're in this big bubble, and it was like a fish camera inside the video game. And my gig was to do the playback for the band, and we were doing it in surround sound, so it's like 5.1 surround sound, and it was the first time I saw all these technologies kind of be integrated. And my gig was to integrate them, right? So using a bunch of weird, coding stuff, we were able to really like give the audience a really fucked up experience, right? It was probably the coolest thing I've ever done. Until like a year later, I'm doing this other like touring surround sound 7.1 show for Frank Ocean and all this stuff. But that got me into the whole gaming engine stuff, and now it's sort of the ipso facto way to do it. I was using a thing called Unity at the time, which was the big gaming engine. But now that everyone's hip to Unreal, and it's the way that Mandalorian, all of the virtual production work's happening. And so that's kind of like, I'm excited to get back to do that more now. And it's weird to take like a hard left turn mid-career to be like, all right, I want to make music. It's fun. And I just got called to go do a couple of gigs in Calgary in next month with a band called Mariana's Trench, who are like the fucking coolest band in the planet. They're so nice. They're like the nice, like, it's like I work for so many artists who hire people who do a band job, but like this is a band. This is like 4 dudes, and they come together and they make music and they tour. And the one guy is like, he made the Call Me Maybe song, and he's wicked fucking rich off of that. And the rest of the guys in the band, they started a t-shirt selling company. So, at every show, they sell their own t-shirts, and they fucking run the business that way. The guy's like, hey, I got tons of money. You guys just do that, and I want to go tour with those guys. And I was just saying to my dad, to my girlfriend, I was like, I wish those guys would call me. And then fucking like 2 days later, they're like, hey, yo, we got a show coming up. And I'm like, wow, this is like, in this whole pandemic, I've done, other than like, a couple of the live stream things, I've done 2 shows. I did the Junos a few weeks ago, and then before that, I did a Glass Tiger gig with Glass Tiger. I've been there, guy, right? And that was like, holy shit, this is weird. Like back at a gig after it's been like a full year. It was totally 1 year. We had that gig booked 3 times, and it kept getting pushed because of COVID restrictions and all this crap. And but yeah, it's like this is the first time I'm like, I'm gonna get on air. I don't even, my passport's expired, like nothing. Like I have which is killing me because like right before COVID started, I was in New York with Frank Ocean. We were getting ready to do Coachella. And we had he's like headlining Coachella. The guy gets paid like a couple million per show or something. It's stupid like that, right? And we put basically all the money that guy gets paid into the show. Like it's just fucked up. I mean, we're in places that cost $50,000 a day to like rehearse and build out the show. And we put all this money into it on the upfront because this guy just likes doing a good show. And it's going to cost $2 million for the whole show. He's not walking away with $2 million. He spent it, right? That's what's fucked, right? And this is what we were like the last few shows we did. It was like, man, we went on tour, but we probably spent $4 million rehearsing the goddamn show, and then he canceled 2 of the shows, and we're like, it's nuts. So, but long story short, it was like, it's funky to go from ready to go and then having everything just get kiboshed for 2 years, almost year and a half.
Yeah.
And now to see it coming, even just to do anything. I mean, I'm weird about going to see people in person in general, and I think. The most amount of people I've been around has been in a fucking Metro convenience store or something, right? So I think we've all been shying away from. I'm not going to the chainsaw parties or anything, I keep it all pretty chill, And that's the thing, is where you almost get outed for like doing anything. So everyone's literally been like, okay, I'm not doing anything. You're not doing anything. We're all not doing anything, right? Because it comes. the swift justice of the chainsaw DJ posse will come down on you if you do any,
Well, the last
Fuck
show,
that
yeah, fuck that shit. The last show I ran and was headlining was a fundraiser at a motorcycle clubhouse, right? So it was like MCRC here in Hamilton. They had a fundraiser for a girl who was in the hospital. So they're getting her a laptop because she's stuck in the hospital, just helping her out like a fundraiser. So I'm thinking, I approached him like, we can do a fundraiser. I can live stream comics in and I can be there and we'll do like, that end part. And I'm expecting like, okay, maybe 2-3 people in the room. I show up to the clubhouse, it's packed. and it's like easy 60 bikers. And I'm like, well, I wrote a last will and testament, so I'll say whatever I can say. And all the other comics are safe because they're at home. So I'm the one going to take all the abuse. But it turned out to be an awesome show. And I want to start doing more of them. But yeah, it was kind of one of those like, listen, out of what we do, having too many people in a house is probably the least of our problems. There's probably a little more going on. But honestly, I'm thinking this summer is going to be all backyard shows. Like people find a baseball diamond, set up a sound system. Let's do this. Everyone stand 6 feet apart.
Did you just get one of those portable things, Marty? I saw you had a little Denon thing. Is that no? Yes,
I did. Yeah.
Battery powered jobby where you can do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I just tried it today. I went to a park. There was about 80 geese around me, and I found a spot where I thought the geeseling would not attack, but I wanted them to have them in the shot. So, I tried that this afternoon. It's on my Twitch. It's not very good. I'm going to delete it because I just had to test it out. I got to test it out. Yeah. And so I tried that, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Lately, I've been trying to put it on originally I had it on a stroller, and I called it the DJ Constroller. And I put the thing right on top, and I'm just using a little boom box on the top so I can hear enough. The internet goes out as loud as it wants. And my kid sits in the front, and then I just push the thing, and the thing sits right on top. I don't need any battery. I got at least 3 hours of runtime. Yeah.
That's rock. I saw a friend of mine posted. He got one of those, and he also got a portable sub with a battery in it. And I was like, yo, you're in there, bro. Like,
I'm tempted to get the battery. I'm tempted to get that not the Bluetooth, as long as there's an aux in, I'm good. And I thought, you know what? I'll leave my child at home. I'll put the speaker where the baby sits, and I will push, and I will just go. Now, I'm in a university town in Guelph, and if I'm going to my COVID blocked off area, I'm sure I can create a dance floor anywhere I want. And that's kind of the plan I have in the back of my head. Once some of these
man, you'll make some bank.
I remember one of my friends, late 80s, early 90s, I think, put 2 turntables in his trunk. Like 2 turntable mixer, and then hooked it up to a generator, a couple of cars away, and it was a parking lot party.
Yep.
Right. And I mean, sounds sweet. Set up, had speakers in other cars, and way to go.
I'm surprised with all this DJing online that there's not a lot more backyard parties where someone might pipe in DJ X, Y, or Z, and they're playing, and you have. I mean, I guess you can't have friends over, but at the same time, we're all kind of. Is that it? I'm like,
yeah. There's got to be something going on. I know it's some weird. It's like a Trump thing.
Yeah, you're right. You can't have people over. That's the bitch.
I mean, I think with obstacles we shall overcome. So they put an obstacle like you can't have more than XX people. You know what? We can stream it across the world. Music will still survive. We will still carry on. And yeah, I miss audiences. I just miss audiences.
Yeah.
The thing is, I hate audiences, man. I don't like being in them. I like looking at them. I like being off to the side of them. It's cool.
Yeah.
But when you're all up in there and it's like, and again, my girlfriend brings me to more concerts than I actually work at every year. And it's fucked. And most of the time I'm sitting there going, looking at the rigging and all the lighting and all I can't get into it. And then there's like, and then everyone gets their phones out and you're like, okay, so I'm just looking at your phone, looking at your phone, looking at your I can't do it. And you know, I think rave's cool, yeah, because we're dancing, we're doing that. It's cool. We're moving at least. But when you're all just sausaging it up and everyone's all rubbing against each other, and then some asshole needs to get back to where their friends are because I had to go pee in the middle of this, and I was just over there, and you're like, oh man. And I'm usually the shorter person there, so like it's just a sea of asses for me, kind of thing. Which is not what you wanted to do when you're at a party. And then it's like, yeah, let's go to the front. Okay, great. Yeah, let's look at that. Crowd suck.
I don't go out as much as I used to, but when I was before I met my wife, I was going out and I was at the I think it was Electric Island, I think they called it. It was one of those Toronto Island jams. But you were there, Jay. We hung out for like well, I don't care how long. Let's say a half an hour for whatever. We had a drink or on the dance floor. I mean, that's partying for me. Like going there and be like, hey, fuck, dude, I haven't seen you in a long time. But if you're you're old. I want to reminisce and catch up and validate the fact that we're still standing and breathing, and that's a good time too.
And again for the Fallen, we just lost one of ours last few days. Mark Paquette. DJ Echo, you were bringing up earlier. But,
yeah.
So sad. I mean, he just had some very fast-moving health complications that,
I didn't know him very well, but I did get to meet him through Mark Grimace. And Grimace and him, and Bill were I don't know what the connection is.
Ambient C and Mark, and it was weird when I got into DJing. I always got stuck in the ambient rooms, so I played all of the early ambient rooms with those guys, and I don't know, just like I eventually I got out of the ambient rooms, but for a long fucking time, Jesus Christ, man, I'm in the fucking ambient room. Okay, I'm playing a rave. That's good. Right? And I play really slow beats, but it gets some beats in there, but yeah, it was always Mark, man, and he was super cool. And I remember I had actually just reached out to him I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, and I was like, "Yo, what's up? How you doing?" And I missed Bill, and keeping track of all those people. I just hit people up. What's up? And and he was like, "Yeah, did you make out with my sister at a event?" And I was like, "I think I did make out with your sister for about 3 minutes." And then we're like, this is weird. We shouldn't be doing this. I don't know. And we stopped, and it was so weird. And then he was like, awesome, man. I'm glad you made out with my sister. I'm like, I don't know how the rules go with that, but that's okay. All right. But and then boom, he's gone. And and especially during COVID, you don't really get a chance to mourn properly, and so you kind of put it on pause. We'll get to that morning. And then I've lost a few people during COVID, and a friend of mine took his own life last year, and it's just it's rough because this has been eating the shit out of everyone, right, in different ways. And some things are just natural. Sometimes it's your time. Sometimes circumstances gave you dark mirror look, but. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It's what'd you say? If you give something to persevere, you'll persevere it. What was that?
Yeah. I got to overcome. And again, we're all fatigued. I'm feeling it too. And I'm just they're talking about a fourth wave, and I'm like, done. I'm done. No more. No more. I've been in the house way too much. I'm stressing as it is. I got cats driving me crazy.
What's fucked up is my life is pretty much the same.
You just live in a basement. I
gotta say, I kind of agree. Yeah,
it's weird because I somehow end up touring for my living, and that does get you a certain chunk of money, and it evens out to if I was a jobber all year, right? But I end up working a really small period of the time for this really sick amount of money for 2 months if I'm lucky. Right. And it's lawyer money. Right. And then boom, the rest of the year, I'm just stretch it out and or do smaller gigs that just mitigate the feast or famine scenario. And so that's for COVID's been like that for me anyways. It's just been, I cook a lot and I just stay home, and I got a kid with allergies, so I cook a lot. So it's nothing's really changed in that world, right? But and yeah, because we were old. If we were 25, we'd be going crazy right now, right? Come on, everyone 25 and older is like, fuck this, I'm done. I'm going to Trinity. I don't give a shit. You know, and it's all fucking scam, and you know, and everyone's gone through their varying levels of conspiracy theory for this, and I like, you know, it's all like, you know, rich old white men with the Pfizer, they're trying to make money off you, and it's like, well, they're gonna, okay, you know, like that's what's happening. That's what's happening. And if that's not what's happening, I'm even more scared. But if that's what's happening, I can deal with that because like that's predictable. Like they're not gonna kill us all. They want us to buy money and buy their stuff, right? You know, vaccine, sure, whatever. I don't know.
Let's face it. Does Pfizer really need any more old man money after they made Viagra? Do they really need to make any more money off old men? I mean, Viagra was basically like, okay, we're done. We are millionaires or billionaires, trillionaires off this little blue pill.
I don't want to go down the conspiracy theory hitch. I spent the last year doing some back end work for almost like this conspiracy theory website news organization. I guess if you're anything but the mainstream, you're nuts. Is sort of the idea, right? So they're nuts. Yeah. But you know, they would also have some interesting things to talk about. But some of it was like, yeah, okay, I can see how everyone else thinks you're nuts, right? You know, but you know, for me, it was kind of like, you know, just working at the gig, and I got to learn some new skills like editing video and all this other stuff, and you know, but man, I was hired to keep track of a Wikipedia site for them and stuff, and I got to see the mind of, and I think this is weird, but I think my theory on this whole thing is there's two kinds of people on the planet: people who'll take it and people who fight back, right? Mm-hmm. And if you hang around with a bunch of people who'll take it, you'll take it. And if you hang around with a bunch of people who fight back, you'll probably fight back. And it's like there's this weird gene. Everyone's got it. There's like the fight for the underdog gene, or I'm not putting up for that gene. You know what I mean? And it's been interesting to see it be on display in varying levels of intelligence and utilization throughout that. Because some people have good points that they're saying. It's just maybe the tone is wrong, or you know, and I don't know, man. It's trippy because. I don't know.
The funny part about conspiracy theories is they're theories until they're proven facts. You know, like UK Ultra, like the government experimenting on civilians with acid. We all like, oh, that's crazy. And then it was declassified, and they're like, yeah, we did. And it's like,
but those guys are dead now, so don't worry about it. It's cool.
Yeah, you know, like, so
and their grandkids are in power. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah.
They're conspiracy theories until there's facts, and then you're like, well, that's not a theory anymore, is it now? So you never know.
I mean, it can't literally be a conspiracy to end all dance floors, because that's pretty much all that's happened. Is every nightclub's gone, every bar's fucked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like, and really, was it really just all about ending the underground dance scene? I mean, if you look at
it, there's an angle there, and you could put those really dots together.
You know what?
I think you could.
What do you do, right? You know,
first you abolish smoking. That you can't have smoking on the dance floor. That killed the dance floor for a while.
You're going back, right? See, this is a long, slow burn. Yeah,
that's how they all started. Then we had iDance and
push bar exits on the fucking doors, right? You know, and that's a safety code.
Now you're going. Oh, now you're going.
Not drinking enough alcohol at your party, and you can't. So, remember that one? There was this. What was it? It was a club life party that was at the airport, and it was just after they passed the whole rule about you can only throw a party if there's alcohol being served.
Oh wow! I think I vaguely remember that actually.
So this when this came in, you're like, okay, great, let's get a big ass space like the convention center, right? Liquor license. I got 70,000 person fucking capacity, right? But the liquor license they had was only for a 5,000 person space.
Oh yeah, right.
They're only allowed to let in 5,000 people for the whole party, even though there was a sectioned off area. Right, the fact that they needed 30,000 to break even
Yeah, it's another story.
And they can only let in 5,000 for the whole night was just like a giant to the whole scene. And that was like a big, like, God, that was probably 99.
Wow.
And yeah, that was 99. And I remember Ronnie from Most Wanted Entertainment.
Most Wanted, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he brought in all these people. Like they brought in like Randall, Groove Rider, who was it? Fucking Fabio. And they brought in like Jeff Mills, fucking Dave Clark. All these people were at this like massive event, and they lost their shirt because just one of those guys cost the entire budget of what they could let in, and everyone got turned away at the door. It was rude. Sorry. Back to that.
No problem. All right, guys. On that note, let's wind this down. All right,
Jay. An
Jay.
hour?
What? Yeah, we're at like an hour.
Oh, okay, cool.
Usually I do 30 minutes to 45 minutes, but we've been having like a great time. And I've been loving it. I might do a part 2 if you guys are interested in the next season. You know.
We'll do one where we play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in
So like an
September,
electric circus, we all get 3 minutes each, and then there's some people in the background who are forced to dance. No.
Oh God, Electric Circus. That was shameless. All right, so Jay, what do you got going on after coming up in the future that you want to plug?
FameDiet.live. That's my website. And I'm an artist called Fame Diet now because there's 30 fucking DJ Shines on the planet. So I teach at the Harris Institute. I teach Ableton. I'm making my own video games and performing with them. And I tour with a bunch of pop stars on the planet. I spent all my time doing that. So I don't know. I just want to stay alive and have some fun and cook. I've been smoking meat. That's like my big thing is I got a smoker. So that's more important now than that. Being a dad. That's it.
All right, cool.
But check out, Fame Diet. That's me. It's all my live music. I make music.
Okay.
It's like I'm DJing, but I'm not.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining the show.
Did we lose Marty? He's gone.
Yeah, we lost Marty, but I'll plug his show for tomorrow.
Shit.
All right. So, yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so we lost Marty, but I want to plug this for him. You can catch him tomorrow on Twitch, Version VVC, or Vision, whatever. You got that. And it was great having them on the show. And sorry for the technical difficulties. I have cats, and they're crazy. Guys, let's enjoy the summer. This is the last of me, and I got Marty back. Marty's back. Woohoo. Yeah, Marty, I was just plugging your show. Oh, wait, we lost him again. Okay, so hopefully he jumps back in. And yeah, guys, I'm taking the summer off. I'm going to enjoy it. So should you. Coming back in the fall and September. And we have Marty back to say goodbye. Hey, Marty, you back to say goodbye? I just plugged your show. Thanks for coming on the show. Is there anything you want to plug? That's it? I'm not hearing you. Give me a sec. There we go. Oh, shit. Lost device. All right. Well, guys, I don't know. Stay strong. Have fun. Enjoy the summer. And we're all in this together. And for the people we've lost, a moment of silence and love. And Marty's giving us thumbs up again. All right, Marty, give us thumbs up. See ya. All right, guys. That's our show. Thanks for joining us. Take care of yourself. And remember, if worse comes to worse, you're always loved.